busy day today?
Finals.
Finals. How many more do you have left?
2.
Friday finals? I know those are the worst.
Yeah, so everything's different because it's all like distance learning. So I have a math final that is like 20 pages long, and I have until Thursday night to finish it. And then she Zoom calls each one of us and interviews us about it individually.
What?
For fun. Yeah, it's great. I love it.
That's awful.
It's awful, and it's my hardest class this semester. So Friday's going to be a great day when it's all done.
I do not want to sit down with my professor and talk about like my rotten work.
Yeah, no, that's how I felt. We did it for our second exam too, and it was not fun. So it was great. She just told us everything that was like wrong with our written tests. Yeah.
What's up, Nicolette?
Hi guys.
Yeah. Oh, a little delay there.
Yeah, I'm using it on my phone, which I never do, so I don't know how to get the link up on my computer.
I know the settings and everything's all mixed up. So trying to find, I'm just like, where is this at? So yeah, I had the same issue with my job this morning.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, Ugochi?
Hey.
Where you at? Space shuttle? That looks like a limo or something.
In my car because it was too loud in my house.
I know. Hey, if you guys hear Incredibles in the background, I'm sorry, that's my son. So
How's your son doing?
Oh, he's amazing. He's super active.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's already running hills at the park.
I believe it. He's got that athlete blood in his body.
I'm trying to. He wants to touch every bee, bumblebee. I was like, no, that's not what you want to be doing right now. I don't have the meat tenderizer or whatever you put on like bee stings. So, Ugochi, how are you doing with finals? How far along are you? Are you done?
My finals are next week, but school is still hard. It still sucks. I hate it.
And where are you at, Nicolette? Are you done? You have that I'm done like vibe going. Hit your audio.
Oh.
I could
Hit it again.
Oh, okay. You're done?
I have finals this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn. I was reading your guys' bios and just trying to get prepared, and I was like, damn, you guys, you're doing your thing or did your thing. And so first off, happy Cinco de Mayo. And secondly, man, like what a career. I mean, let's just start with, you, Nicolette. Do you want to play after? Do you want to play overseas? Is that something that you're thinking about, or?
Mute myself again. I mean, I would, but right now, like, I'm in a grad program. So while I was playing this year, I was also in my first year of grad school.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
I have 2 years left, and it's like, I'm not about to stop where I am at in school just to go play, unfortunately. That's like a lot of money I wasted.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but when I heard like Ugochi was like looking to play overseas, I was like, damn, like I should have thought about this differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's options. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's options. So definitely take a look at it, especially ending on such a high. Well, same question for you, Ugochi. Like, she already spilled the beans, but is that something you're looking to do?
Yeah, I'm trying to do it. Bobby's helping me. I have an agent now.
Awesome,
so
congrats.
He's helping me like to talk to some teams. So hopefully it works out.
Yeah, definitely keep us posted so we can.
Yes, it will.
Whatever country you go to, I gotta get a T-shirt.
Yes, sure.
What about you, Delaney? I know you got one more year left, right?
Yeah, I have one more year.
Is that something you want to do, or you just want to get in the workforce, or?
Yeah, I probably won't play after college, but I appreciated everything that basketball did for me and gave to me, and it's not a lack of. There are bugs everywhere.
Oh, yeah, you're showing quickness, real lateral quickness right there.
This is my agility workout for the day. Basketball has given me so many opportunities, but I think it's just, the end of me and basketball coming up. Yeah.
Well, I mean, now that we touched on what's going on right now, let's go back a few years for you guys. I know a lot of the girls either are going to be on here. It's definitely me dropping this last minute on them, but they'll be able to watch it. And I wanted to do, I knew you guys were probably in finals or close to finals, so I wanted to keep it short, but I definitely wanted to do, I was thinking about doing like 2 45-minute sessions, just so we can pick your brain. Question I have for you, when you got to college, at what point did you think I'm gonna be okay? So let's start with you, Delaney.
Okay, so this is an interesting question to me because when I finally figured out where I was going to school and that I was going to play, I didn't think that I would really be playing. I thought, I was reaching for something that didn't seem super obtainable just because I wasn't a highly recruited person like everyone else was at that level. And so going into it, I didn't have super high expectations on my playing time or my role. And I think when I played the first game and I actually went in and it wasn't just scrub minutes, I was like, okay, I think I'm going to be okay. That's when it finally clicked for me that, I can do this. I can figure it out.
Sure. Ugochi, when did you say that? Yeah, I'm gonna be all right, man?
I think, well, honestly, I went into college super scared because Bobby would always tell us it's going to be so much harder than West Valley. And West Valley was already so hard for me. So I was terrified. But honestly, after the first, I guess around when the official practice starts, October 15th, I felt oh yeah. After conditioning was done, I was I think I could do this because I could see I was kind of equal talent wise of the people who I played behind, so I felt ready. And then by the first game, I felt totally part of the team and ready to work.
Nice. Yeah. Nicolette?
Yeah, kind of the same thing as Ugochi. I had really high expectations about what conditioning and stuff was going to be like, but I don't think I've ever ran more in my life than with Bobby. So I felt perfectly fine getting conditioned and stuff, and I was lucky enough to from the get-go play a lot, so that was never really a huge problem for me. It was more trying to balance all my academics and whatnot, so that took a couple of weeks for me to start once we start traveling and whatnot, because that is a huge change when you're gone for a whole weekend and you have tests coming up and you gotta miss class and go see your other professors and try to join in on other lectures.
Yeah, that's definitely want to come back and touch on that. And I also want to touch on culture. I want to touch on also positions, because you guys are all different positions. So let's get into that. Nicolette, you being a point guard, and we have some guards that are going to be watching this. What was the biggest challenge for you?
Coming in, I actually played the 3, which was so bizarre.
Right.
I've never done that in my life. So they had me running plays for me to shoot the 3. I think I took 4 threes in high school. So that wasn't who I was. So I kind of had to adjust to doing that. And then once our, because we had a junior on the team who was our starting point guard.
Yeah. And
she was an amazing player, scored well over 1,000 points. So until she graduated, I didn't play point.
How instrumental was she in helping you? Did she take you in her wing? Was it more competition? You just kind of learn, like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna watch from afar. She's in her, you know, she's obviously she got here for a reason. She probably got treated the same way her, you know. So, what did you learn from her? Even if it wasn't just like, hey, you know what? I'll take you under my wing and you can watch me grow.
Yeah, she was never like lead by talking type of person.
Right.
But she always went hard during every practice and game. And so the way I learned from her was like stepping up and trying to guard her like every practice, every play to learn from her. And she kicked my ass literally for 2 years. Like I could, no one could guard her. She was like unstoppable. Right. So that was the only way for me to really learn, was to put myself in a position where I had to guard the best player for 2 years.
Nice. Ugochi, being especially in this day and age where your position is very unique, how did you get your touches, even though right now, like, just the landscape of basketball is like so perimeter oriented? Like, how I saw that you led this, broke the record at your school in rebounding for a season. Like, what was that one of the big things you had to really focus on? We already knew you were a natural rebounder, but what goes into that, knowing that, hey, you know what?
It was mostly like, I think like a mentality above everything else. Like, I knew what type of player I was. Like, I'm just strictly a 5 back to the basket, so I knew my strengths.
Right.
And no one else on the team was really like a true 5, so I guess I could really capitalize on that. And I would say preseason, like, I had to lift a lot and like get really strong, because like I never played against girls that big or that strong, or like even shorter than me, but like way stronger than me.
Right.
So that was kind of like new and hard for me. I don't know, like, what else? Like, I don't know. I enjoyed playing the 5, so like it was never like work or like hard, I guess. Like I like enjoy rebounding. I enjoy like scoring. So it's like, I know, it just feels natural.
Is there something that you need to for next year? Is there something that they want you to start spotting up and shooting threes, or?
Yeah. Like my agent told me like I most likely won't play the 5, like maybe a 4 or like a 3-4. So that would be way different. So yeah, I just have to develop like my ball handling and shooting a lot more. So yeah, that's gonna be different.
So Delaney, your perspective, two-time player of the year in high school, all league stuff, going to a Division I, like, man, how do you kind of flip the script and assume a different role? I mean, what goes into that psychology, and how did you get it done?
Yeah, it is a completely different role for me coming from high school to college, but I think that naturally, a lot of my teammates would agree that I have that mom persona and that instinct to just want to do what feels right, or what the team needs in that moment. And so I think becoming more of a role player, or a glue player is sometimes what they call it, was not as difficult for me as I would have originally thought, because I think that's just more who I am naturally. And I just had the opportunity, in high school to be more of, visual.
Is it I think hopefully we didn't lose.
I think that when
Yeah, I think your connection. Are you guys hearing her okay? Okay, yeah, you paused. So yeah, when you get your connection, I want to ask a follow-up on that.
Can you hear me now? How about now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Hello? Okay, we'll come back to you.
Hello?
Okay, yeah, there you are. Okay, there you are. So you're
Okay.
do you think playing for West Valley and playing AAU helped you with this, because then you've played with some alphas, at West Valley, and then now playing for Idaho State, like you can just kind of like go to that place.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think that, you want to play with people who are the best too. You want to put yourself in that position where that iron sharpens iron. And when you play AAU, you're around people who work just as hard as you do and who set the same goals that you do and want to become the best players. And so I do think that I learned a lot about, more about having a role and working as a team to complete a goal and to be the best team possible. And so I think that definitely was a part of me being able to make that transition in college.
Awesome. You're all three of you guys, obviously went through similar stuff that the girls that are listening. I have a question from Mackenzie. How hard was it to adjust to the team dynamic and find your niche? So let's, Nicolette, you want to jump on this one?
Can you repeat the question real quick?
So the question from Mackenzie is Hi,
Jess.
How hard was it to adjust to the team dynamic and find your niche?
It was really hard, actually, because like how the team, like the West Valley team was when I played, it was like there were I didn't have captains on my college team either, but like at West Valley, like we kind of just like ran, like we all ran together, and like everyone was pretty close for the most part. And like there were never any problems with coaching when we were actually playing. Like the coaches trusted us. They trusted everything that you guys did, which was really great. But going into college, it's, at least with my team, I never like had that type of like close relationship with my coach, and she wasn't very trusting of her players and whatnot. So it was definitely a different dynamic that was hard to get used to. And I don't know, like I always miss playing for West Valley, because like it was such a different time. Like everyone for some reason got along. And there were never any problems about like what play should we run or what defense should we run. Like it was always, we knew what to do. Somehow we always knew what to do.
What about you, Ugochi?
Yeah, I feel the same way, because like we were on the team at the same time. Like it was just fun back then, like, and like now it's like way more I think just drama. And like when I started at West Valley, like what you said before, like what did you ask? How did you find your niche?
Yeah, how'd you find your niche?
Because like I had never played basketball before. I didn't even play sports before like sophomore year. So it was like really hard for me to adjust, like being part of a team, like doing team things and stuff, because I'd never done that, like ever. And then basketball, which I like sucked at in the beginning. So it was really hard. But I think going into college, I would say, like what Nicolette was saying, like I never had that closeness with like a coach after West Valley, but it wasn't like, but like the basketball side wasn't really hard. Like I always knew my role, I feel like. So it was just like, it is like really different from AAU though. So, yeah.
What about you, Delaney?
I think every team is different, and so no one's experience is going to be the same. No one's experience in AAU is the same. but I totally agree with what Nicolette and Ugochi had to say. Like, our team was just, it was unreal, you know, just the kinds of connections we had. And, you know, I'm sure right now West Valley is not the same. They don't have the same dynamic, and that's okay too. It's really important, I think, if you do want to play in college, to gauge, okay, what are the personalities? How would I feel if I were around these personalities all the time? Because you are literally together all the time. And that's good too. And every year it's going to change. People are going to leave and people are going to come. But I think it's just important to be yourself at the end of the day, because if you try to pretend to be someone else to fit in, that's ultimately, you know, just going to hurt you in the long run.
I have a quick commercial break from Jessica. So she says, first off, that she loves you all and she's very proud of you guys. And number one, she said, Ugochi, minus all the crazy stuff off the court, you remind her of Dennis Rodman.
She has an inner Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, inner Dennis Rodman. Not the outer Dennis Rodman. She had inner Dennis Rodman. Nicolette is Steve Kerr / Steve Nash / James Davis. Would you never see me play, but you were very similar. I mean, and then Delaney, Scottie Pippen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
Oh, hi, Bobby.
what's up, Bobby?
Yeah,
Welcome. What's up? So that was a message from Jessica. So first of all, she's proud of you guys.
Thanks, Jessica.
They said thank you.
James, was that a basketball player behind you?
I don't know who that is behind me. It just had a gym feel to it. It's not like your photo, you know, with the pose and the.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You got that Lou Alcindor look on yours, and you know mine's just whatever.
Yeah.
Quick question from Jamie. Did you hit any roadblocks in your recruiting process? If so, how did you handle them? Delaney, you want to take this one, and then we'll just go from left to right. Okay, Delaney's having a little quick delay. We'll come right back to you, Delaney. Ugochi.
Hey, girl.
Hi. Roadblocks. The first time I would say no, because like out of high school, no, because I would think a lot of school, or I had choices. I feel like I just didn't pick the right one. But the second time, I would think I was more picky, so that kind of I like my own roadblocks, I would say. But
so quickly explain to them what you mean by that, because we know what you went through, but just.
Oh, okay. So the first school I went to, Concordia, it was just not the right fit. It was very religious, and I'm just not religious, and I didn't like the school, so I left. I left and then transferred to Sonoma State, which is where I'm graduating from now. But when I was recruited the first time out of high school, I kind of just picked it just because it looked good. But the second time around, like I made way more thought. I put way more thought into my decision. I talked to the coach more. I wanted to see like if I really fit in the team. I wanted to visited more than once. I just wanted it to be more of a fit, which I think it was. So yeah, I'd say that's kind of it.
Delaney?
My recruiting process was extremely stressful in some ways. I could have committed to a couple of NAIA schools or Division III schools or D2 schools, but I made it my goal that I would try to go Division I, just because I had a driving force that told me that I see girls that I play with that I feel like I'm just as good as, and I think I can do it. And I had a lot of support from Bobby and my other, club coaches and my parents. And so I was going to be a walk-on. at a different Division I school. And after high school, after I graduated high school, I didn't know where I was going for sure. I had a walk-on spot. I played the summer after high school, and at one of our very last tournaments in Chicago, Idaho State saw me play. I went on an official visit 10 days before school started and signed on that official visit. So it was, the whole process was, yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy time, but it was
Yeah.
it was awesome too at the same time.
Yeah.
Nicolette, how'd you come to your decision? And what about the Roblox?
Man, well, I played on a team with, Delaney, Ugochi, Haley Jones, Nakai Bechtel, all of these amazing basketball players. And I was definitely not at their level at all. So my recruiting process was much, much harder. I got some offers from a lot of little D3 schools and like the LA area, places down south in California, but I always wanted to go to school on the East Coast. So that kind of, I had to put myself out there. I had to go out, send coaches film, talk to them, get in touch with them. I didn't have coaches coming to me in a lot of ways. So that was definitely hard. It was disheartening, honestly. I mean, I always wanted to play college basketball, and it kind of, I had to like suck up my pride and realize that it was going to take a lot of my efforts reaching out to people instead of them coming and finding me, because I wasn't one of those top players like some of the other girls that I was playing with were.
Ironically, Bobby sent a message out to the family, stating this very thing. Quickly talk about maybe 3 bullet points on how you went about doing that, because there are some players listening right here that are in that same boat, especially with the time that we're in right now because we're not playing.
So what I did is I would always send them, they usually had like recruitment forms on their website. So I would fill out the recruitment form. If I had the coach's information, I would shoot them an email, tell them my name, where I went to school. I filled out like kind of like a student, like almost like a student resume. So it had like all my GPA, all like my academic accolades. And then I attached a highlight reel. And I told them that if they want to, they can like ask for me to send the full game in. And then if they ask for that, I would send the full game in.
How many of those forms did you fill out? Just give us a rough number on how many schools you probably reach out to.
Probably 20-ish, yeah.
Nice. I mean, and the cool part about it is all you need is one, and that's awesome. So, ladies, I know some of you guys are listening. You heard it there. Question from Michaela. This question is directed towards Ugochi. I know you talked a little bit about your transferring process, but can you explain more on how the transferring process works? What complications did you encounter during the transfer?
Complication. Okay, so I spent 1 year at Concordia and I didn't like it, so I left, or I guess dropped out, I don't know what you want to call it, without like having a school to go to next. So I told Bobby that I didn't want to go there anymore, so he helped me find a school. I would say first, like the schools that you're looking at to transfer to, make sure your classes like transfer, because like some of mine didn't transfer, and then that's why I'm taking summer school. So if that's something you're not into, like know that. I'd say be like I said earlier, I like kind of was more aware of the team that I was gonna be a part of and the coach. Like if the vibe, like if you feel the vibe is off, like don't try to force it, because I wasn't gonna transfer again, so I didn't want to spend 3 years at somewhere where I don't even like. Don't oh, don't just go somewhere for the basketball, because that's what I did the first time, and then that didn't end up well. So like I would say make sure like you actually like the school you're going to. If you weren't playing basketball and you like the area, you like the type of people that are there, because like that was like a huge mistake that I made the first time. I just didn't fit into the area or the people, type of people that were there. Any other competencies? Yeah, those are like mainly the top three, I would say. Yeah, but like I'm happy I transferred, and like I'd say don't be nervous, or I mean be nervous because I don't know, you might not have a place to go, but like um, it's still exciting to like go somewhere new and just like have confidence in yourself. Like if someone wanted you before, they're gonna want you again, especially if you did better your freshman year or whatever year that you played.
Great point. Great point. Thank you for that. So question from Jalen. What was something you would have liked to know going into playing college basketball? How was your mentality going into playing college basketball? So if you guys had a mulligan on you guys being back at West Valley junior year, going into your senior year, sophomore, going into your junior year, what are some of the things you would do differently? So maybe give me 3 points from each person, and that's something that they can take with them. Delaney, you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. You want 3 points? What if I just have one?
You can say it three times.
Okay. I think one of the biggest things that is a common misconception is you're doing all this work right now so that you can get recruited and go to a school, and you think like that's it, all the hard work is done, but that's wrong. You're working hard now so you can continue to work hard for the next 4 years, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just something that you have to understand. I think that I was thrown off a little. Like you think it's like this big accomplishment and you like relax a little. No, can't relax. That was a big one for me.
Well, like, whoo, I'm done. You know that you're at the finish line, and oh man, the race is still going.
Yes, exactly. And then another big thing is just how you would travel in high school to games. It's not traveling like an hour at most. We live Pocatello in Idaho is like in the middle of nowhere, and we have to drive at least 3 hours to get to an airport if we even use an airport. And I'm sure my experience is completely different from Ugochi and Nicolette too. Like I know that we have a lot, we're privileged. I can't complain sometimes, but you're going to completely different states, completely different time zones, and it's a lot to do every other week, and you're in class. So being prepared for those kinds of things too going into college. I would have liked to know how crazy the travel schedule is.
Is there, even though they can't really grasp how crazy it is, are there a couple of things they can do now to prepare for it? Or is it like, you know what, just know it's coming, and then that?
I think mentally preparing, like knowing that it's going to happen is a good part of it. But I think in high school, if you can work on, not procrastinating, and knowing if you're that person that waits until like 2 hours before it's due to do something, working on skills to where you work on papers a little bit at a time, or whenever you're free, or getting ahead of your schoolwork, I think that'll completely help you in the long run.
Gotcha. Thank you for that. Ugochi.
3 things. Well, the first, like I said before, like I was just terrified to go to college because like Bobby really scared me. So I would say, don't be scared, because it's a fun experience. Like it is hard work and a humongous time commitment, but like you do get a lot of life skills out of it. Like I feel much more prepared for the world, just because of like the time management and having to do all these other things. Next thing I would say is like what Delaney said, stay organized. Like me, I procrastinate still to this day. I procrastinate like a lot. but like having a planner, like you can even do it in high school, like having a planner and writing like literally every single thing like I do. I just say I have to eat at this time, I have to practice at this time, do homework from this time, go to bed at this time. That really helps me stay organized, at least during season. It really helps me. Yeah, I would say, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Nicolette?
I would say, I mean, if I was like still a junior in high school, I would definitely tell myself to work harder, and to like take my high school season a little more seriously. Like me and Ugochi played on the same high school team, and after some woman named Jess left our team as a coach, we didn't have like a coach who motivated us as much. So I can't say I really took the practices like seriously. I messed around, I didn't do much, but anytime you can get into a gym, like take absolute advantage of it. And the same thing when you get into college, you're going to have access to a lot more facilities. Like you're going to have the gun available for you. Get on the gun, go shoot, go put up 300, 500 shots a day. And that's easy. That'll only take you an hour when you're on the gun. You have a lot more facilities like open to you. And also take advantage of like your academic facilities. Like we get like tutors if we need them. The library, I mean, not that I went to the library very often, but like I should have. I am now that I'm in grad school, but there's a lot more things that are readily available for you since you are a college athlete. Like they're super accommodating of you, and you have to keep a certain GPA in order to stay on the team. So just using all that stuff.
They want to see you succeed. From Caitlin, how was the struggle balancing your academics and basketball? Did you have the resources, like Nicolette just pointed out, you needed to be successful? I would answer yes. Did your professors help you out, or did you have to do it on your own? So maybe your cultures are different, but you can expand on it a little bit more, Nicolette, on what you're...
Yeah, so I played at a D3 school, and obviously it's all like academics first. Make sure you get your stuff done. Like I would miss practice for school. So if I had class, I'd be in class and I'd go straight to practice. So my teachers were very understanding on days I didn't have games and whatnot. If I could, I would get in touch with them and try to catch another class like earlier in the week or later that week if they had that class again. If not, I would go into like their office hours and talk to them and whatnot. Like I said, if you needed a tutor, you can get one. Sorry, my phone's literally about to die. And like my coach was really good with getting us in touch with any other resources that we needed.
Ugochi?
Yeah, I would say we did have the resources, but yeah, I didn't use them until like later, like until I had to. I really like struggled academically my freshman year, and like no one knew I was failing until I like literally failed out. So I would say like go to office hours, even in the beginning of the year, and like tell your coach, because like my coach was also an advisor, so he always like knew the people to point you to whenever you had troubles with anything. So but yeah, I think the resources are always going to be there. Like they're always there. You just have to reach out and use them, because people aren't going to force you to use it. It's not like high school where that you have to pass. Like you have to want to pass your classes and stuff.
Delaney?
Yeah, I think that in college, especially as an athlete, there are a lot of resources available to you because, your lifestyle is different than a normal student. So how our program works is each coach on our coaching staff is assigned a certain group of girls on the team, and every single week we have to go and meet with them and talk about our grades, and you got to know your grades, and you've got to like report everything. I know that it's super helpful, but sometimes it's like, I just want 2 seconds to eat or whatever, but they're super on top of, are you in class? are you on top of your grades? Do you know what your grades are? The coaches really, they know that basketball isn't the end all be all out of this experience, and they want you to succeed, and so they focus on that. They want you to take advantage of this opportunity when you have it. And I think that professors working with you has a lot to do with your communication with them and planning ahead and not waiting till last second to tell them that you're going to miss something, because how you prepare will change their attitude and behavior to that as well. If you're always the person that was like, oh, sorry, I wasn't in class yesterday, I had a game, versus if you're the person that's like, oh, in a week I'm going to miss this class because I have a game, you know, that'll change a lot of their attitude and willingness to help you.
Man, that's a great point. Let's turn our attention back to West Valley. Knowing what the resources are available at West Valley, right? So we're already on that topic in terms of your university and how can, you know, the university help you succeed, get your grades, and, you know, further your career and your education. They're in high school now, and then obviously they're at West Valley. How can they, what are some resources, some things that you guys can think of that you took advantage of, and some of the things that you wish you would have taken advantage of when you were in the situation they're in now? Delaney?
Obviously, the biggest one is that your coaches know more about recruiting than you do. They've experienced it more than you have, and they have more connections, and they're going to be honest with you about, you know, who you are as a player and where you will be the most successful. And I think listening to what your coaches have to say as far as like what college experience you can have, or what connections they have, what you need to do to stand out to a coach, is something that I think that I probably took advantage of, but maybe in hindsight I could have taken more advantage of when I was a part of West Valley. And another thing is the ability to work hard. Your coaches push you so hard at West Valley, and I know that firsthand. And there are some days when you wake up at 6 a.m. and you're like, why do I play basketball? You know, but anything I have that's, you know, toughness, working hard, that edge that I have on people now, a lot of that was ingrained in me because of West Valley. I would take advantage of the workouts that you wish you never did because they really do make you a better basketball player. So just appreciating that more instead of hating it so much in the moment sometimes.
Sure, thank you for that. Ugochi?
Yeah, I agree with Delaney. Like, all those optional practices, like, it's always good for you, like, to go. It will only make you better. Like what Delaney says, you'll wake up and not want to do it. Like, I've had so many of those days, just not wanting to do it. Like, but like, I think just thinking about the fact, like, where do you want to go? What type of school do you want to go to? You know, like, what kind of player do you want to be? Like, always keeping that in the back of your head, like, will always motivate you. And yeah, I would also say keeping an open communication with the West Valley coaches, like during the recruitment process, like what type of school you want to go to, because if you know you're not going to go to the South or East Coast or whatever, like, there's no point of even, you know, entertaining that. Just like kind of have a path on what you want to do, I guess. Yeah, I would say that.
Nicolette?
Yeah, like, I would actually get nauseous the night before practice, like actually nauseous, because I did not want to go the next morning because I know how terrible it would be. But those workouts, those are like the workouts that at the time, like, someone could put like a gun to my head and I wouldn't do them. But now I like some of the ball handling stuff and some of just like the form shooting and all those resources, those were stuff I started to do once I was in college, like on my own time, like during the summer. Those were everything from West Valley was the stuff I did in the off season to get better. So I would recommend to like use those like drills and whatnot to your advantage, and do them not just when you're in practice, but outside of it as well.
Great point, guys. And you've already touched on it. Maybe you can expand your answer a little bit more. How did travel ball help you outside of just exposure in terms of basketball? I know, Delaney, you touched on it a little bit. Nicolette, can you expand on your response a little bit?
Honestly, it was like some of the greatest times of my life. Like, we had so much fun together. And it was nice because all we got to focus on was basketball. Like, we never had school during these times. So it was nice to like take advantage of a time where you're only focusing on basketball. Like, you'll have kind of like that type of thing when you have your winter break, because you won't have your classes, but you'll still be like on campus playing games and whatnot in college. But something it did really help me with was being around those people like 24/7. I have never spent so much time with people before until like I played AAU, and like with West Valley, we all traveled together. We took the bus ride up to Oregon. We spent like a 12-day trip from Oregon to Chicago. And you know, there were some fights. To this day, I still think Allie threw the TV remote at me. But we all got over it, you know what I mean? So those are like, you're gonna be spending like 9 months straight with your team, and especially during winter break, like you're with them constantly. Like, you eat every single meal together, you wake up, you go to practice, then you have film, you have just everything. So
Ugochi?
Sorry, I'm not. I was there with that. Yeah, I would agree with them both. Like, it just, those times when we were traveling, like not the practices, but like the traveling with each other, going on flights with each other, playing those games, like it really made me fall in love with basketball, like keep falling in love, and like kind of taught me why I play and the enjoyment that I get from playing, which was like just to get better, and like the connections that I made with all the teammates, that really, I guess, pushed my love further for it, because like without basketball, I wouldn't like go to the places I've been or meet the people that I've met. So yeah, and it really helped me just, I would say, just be a better person, like mesh with different types of personalities that I've never, you know, been around for long periods of time. You know, not get irritated when, you know, you're around people for so long. Yeah, so it taught me life skills that like when I get a real job, I could like really apply those. Like, so like basically I'm saying everything that I've learned in West Valley is applicable after basketball, I would say.
D. Moore?
Yeah, that ability to work with other people is a skill you're going to need your whole life. I'm majoring in computer science, and a lot of those projects that we do are group oriented, and I'm constantly working with people and not agreeing with people and trying to figure it out. And I think we as athletes have an advantage. You know, we've had to learn from a young age how to work with other people. And I think that West Valley has a culture where, you know, you really appreciate those connections that you make with other people. And I think for sure that's something that I'll take with me for the rest of my life. And I think just the ability to push yourself and work hard is something that a lot of people don't get that experience at a very young age, like we do, playing, you know, club basketball and pushing ourselves to be the best athletes that we can be. And I know tons of my teammates at the college level who go on from, you know, playing basketball to being in the workforce. They're like, you know, I stick out from the rest because I know how to work hard. I know how to, you know, push myself. And I think those are ultimately the things that will, you'll gain from basketball that will help you outside of just, you know, dribbling a ball and shooting it in hoop.
Do you guys feel like when you are doing group projects that you can spot an athlete because they just kind of get it? They know how to just work through stuff and say, okay, let's make a decision here, versus
Yes.
somebody who's not okay, yeah. Do you can you give me a quick example? Like, is it just?
I think it's more the willingness to maybe give up your ideas, to compromise and meet towards the middle, and to be able to communicate effectively, because some people will just get flustered that either they're not being understood or their idea isn't the one that the group wants to go with. And I think just learning how to give up some of that pride and ego sometimes in order for the best of the group and the whole, I think that's where it really comes into play sometimes. Or, you know, sometimes the ability to take charge when someone needs to, like a group is a little bit lost and someone just needs to make a decision, and usually the person who does has that leadership experience, that team building experience.
Yeah, you're not a Ugochi, same kind of type of experience. Any recent classes that you're, you know, dealing with the group work?
Yes, I'm a business major, so we do a lot of group work and a lot of like scenarios. So I'd say, like, in my experience, usually the athletes, because like a lot of my classmates, like, the work is boring. So I'd say the athletes usually, they just do the work without complaining. It's just like another thing to get through, and just seeing like the end goal, I've noticed it like pushes them, rather than like the non-athletes. I've noticed they complain the whole time. Yeah.
Nicolette, first off, what's your major and where you getting your master's in, and then you can go ahead and answer the question.
So my undergrad was health studies, like towards a physical therapy track, and I did like a healthcare ethics minor, and my doctorate is for physical therapy. So most of my classmates are athletes, and everyone it's super competitive and super motivated. There's only 35 people in the class, and you're with those people for every single class for the next 3 years. So they're like, I guess my future profession is all about communication and like being able to integrate with other healthcare professionals to give care and whatnot. So everyone, at least in my class, I mean, my school is like 60% athletes because it's a little baby school. It's so tiny. So I think that's why everyone is so incredibly motivated. One, because it is like a doctoral program, and two, because most of the people are athletes and they're used to being competitors and whatnot.
All right, awesome. We have about 5 more minutes. What do you guys have any questions for the girls? Are there any things that you guys can think of, like, hey, are you guys doing this? Are you guys doing that? You know, especially with, you know, with the times. I mean, that's that subtext that's in every question. But you guys have anything for them? Like, what are some things that you can think of if you put on your captain's hat? You know, when you guys, because you guys are all captains when you were here, and you know the obviously you want to see the program in great standing. Is there any questions you guys are like, hey, have you guys done this yet? If you haven't done that, you guys probably need to get on that. If you haven't done this, you probably need to do that. So is there anything or any advice you guys can give them from that perspective, which made your guys' experience at West Valley and in high school basketball successful?
I would say like check in with your teammates and like hold them accountable and see if they're like putting in any work, because if you guys like start a group chat and you like all put in the video or say you're gonna go and put up this many shots or work on ball handling or something, it's gonna make everyone else want to do it, because who wants to be like the one person that isn't getting better and doesn't play? Like no one doesn't want to play. Yeah. So
Ugochi, anything?
Yeah, I agree with that one too. It's like you get peer pressured into putting in work. I can't really think of anything else. I'd say, have you been like talking with your the West Valley coaches about I guess recruiting? Keep it like, how do I say, keep the conversation going, I guess.
The momentum.
Yeah. If you want something, like ask them, but if I want to go to this school, what do I need to be better at? Or what am I good at to track? You know what I mean? Like,
stay honest.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a great. Delaney?
This is kind of not something that I really worked on when I was at West Valley or before college or even my first years of college, but just, are you keeping up with your mental health? Are you checking in with yourself to make sure you're okay? Because, you can put in the extra work and that's going to be great and that's going to make you a better basketball player. But I think that the ability to handle the stresses of, what's going on in life right now and school and your relationships, at least for me, in college, that became a big thing. I was a big perfectionist. I wanted to, be the best at everything. I was always working on something and I never gave myself a break, and it catches up with you. So just, make sure that you're reaching out to people that, you're close with and taking care of yourself too, because the mental health stuff matters as well.
Awesome. Can everybody real quickly turn on their cameras? Everyone, if you're close.
I know you got some sleepers on here.
Yeah, I know we got some sleepers. And can you guys turn on your microphones too? Because we're going to say happy birthday to Delaney. All right. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Delaney. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
And it was Ugochi's birthday not too long ago too. So
ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you.
Everyone's birthday.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday, Nicolette and
Ugochi and
Nicolette.
Happy birthday to you.
All right.
I'm so glad Bobby's mic was muted for that.
Deliberately, because my shit don't sound well at all. Hey, Coach, can I chime in for a moment?
Yeah.
You guys, before you go, do you have any anecdotal things you can tell the girls about your experiences in travel ball in general? I don't care if it's West Valley or not. I was thinking about that while you guys were talking, because like in Nicolette's case, Nicolette came from playing with Danny Anderson, if I remember correctly, or at least for a little bit. Is that right, Nick? Did I get that correct?
Yeah.
And Ugochi, I think, was kind of playing with him and somebody else, if I don't remember for sure. And Delaney, I can't recall. Oh, you know what? Delaney was playing for the kid over in Watsonville who lives in Seattle now. Nice young man. I just can't think of his name. It escapes me. Through that and West Valley and your other things, are there anecdotal stories, things you learned? Like let me give you a lesson on for me. Okay, damn, please don't put that hit in the face anymore. What I picked up
Don't put
was
that face in here anymore.
you. No, God, no. One of the things that I picked up from you guys was the ability that you had to draw from each other. Like Nicolette mentioned the issue about that her and Allie had the fight or whatever they had. I wasn't even in Chicago when it happened. But more importantly, you guys came back from Chicago and you were not in a great place. You just weren't. And you managed to work it out yourself, absent having the influence of an adult. Too often, coaches, we make ourselves more important than what we should be. Because the truth of the matter is that it's each and every one of you that drives this. You drive your own motivation. I got a girl who may very well be on the screen. I don't know. James could tell me. Is Allie on, James? Is she on as well?
No.
Okay, well, that's one of the first times. She's shooting 3,000 makes a day. And then I've got people in this program that I promise you are not making more than 12 shots a day. What is and I have my own reasons for that, but for you guys, what drives you? What are the anecdotal things that you take away from this that you go, man, you know what? This was where I learned to grow up because this happened to me. And I'm not looking to dig deep inside of you, but if there's something you can share with everybody here, because many people on this call share more in common with you than they don't. And if there's something that you can share where you had your moment where you said, you know what, that's enough of this. I own this, and this is mine, or whatever your reasons were. Any one of you three want to take a shot at that?
I mean, I don't really have anything in high school, but in college, definitely. My sophomore year, I was injured on and off, and I wasn't getting any playing time. I went from playing and starting every single game as a freshman to not starting one game as a sophomore. And so that summer, I was like, I can't do this shit anymore. Like, I thought I was going to quit. I want to go back home. I was looking to transfer. I was thinking about it. But instead, I kind of just pulled my shit together, and I went into the gym every single day while I was working full time. I would wake up at 6 a.m, drive to a PT clinic that was 30 minutes away, work from 7 to 4, and then I would go put in 2 or 3 hours at a 24-hour fitness, go play with old men, try to get my own shots in. And then the next year I had a great year. And then my past senior year, I had a great year too, because I kept putting in that work. So I would just say, like, don't let that happen to you. Never just think that your position is secure and you're gonna go in and you're gonna start every single year no matter what. They're always recruiting good people for a reason.
Wow, thanks. That I hope everybody heard that and understood what she meant, because I sure did. I think that's important.
Yeah.
You are never secure. Delaney, Ugochi, either one of you?
For me, I'd say between my junior and senior year of college last summer, my coach told me I wasn't gonna play anymore, that someone was gonna take my spot and I'd be benched. So that kind of lit a fire under me to work harder. So I lived at school. I stayed at school last summer to make it easier for me to work out. I worked out with our weights people and other teammates in the morning before work and after work, and I also worked full time. I don't know. One part was I wanted to prove my coach wrong. My spot wasn't gonna get taken, but second, I had goals. I wanted to score 1,000 points, or I wanted to just be a better player for my team. So I would say ever since then, I kind of have a fire lit under me, I would say. And then I think the season that I just came off of really pushed me to not want to stop playing basketball and pushed my decision to play overseas. I would say that was a defining moment. my coach there.
Nice.
Delaney?
I think for me, it's just always been, I wanted to be the best, and if people told me that I couldn't be the best, I wanted to prove them wrong. And the whole idea that, oh, you know, you probably won't go Division 1, or you know what, you're just not, you know, the tallest or the best or the whatever. And I think those things really bothered me, and that's what drove me to, you know, put in extra hours in high school and to want to prove people wrong. And that's kind of always been my driving force. I can't think of like an individual moment for me where it was like it clicked, but I mean, and it's like,
I think you okay, Delaney? Okay, you're back.
I don't know if it cut out, but
Yeah, it cut out at the
yeah.
end. You were like gonna make the point. What was that? The last
Yeah.
sentence? You said it wasn't a defining moment, but
Maybe
But,
you were going to talk about that
you know,
idiot high
I've
school coach that didn't think
just always
you could
kind
ever
of
play past
been
D3.
that way.
I'm just
Well,
saying.
you know, I didn't like that, but
No.
well, you know what, I proved that person wrong, so
Yes,
that's all that matters,
as
right?
well as the
I did, but
pervert
I
out
did
of
it for
South San
me.
Francisco.
I did it for me. I didn't do it for I did it for me, not for them.
Amen. Amen.
no. Well, I'm gonna send a link to you guys's bios and some of their accolades, guys. You guys would. I didn't want to start off with that. I want you guys to go ahead and read their player profile pages and see all the things that they've accomplished, because they're family, but they've I know Bobby can attest to it. Like, man, we're just so proud of them, and hopefully you guys can reach out. Don't hesitate. I'm gonna obviously put this up so you guys can watch it back, and if you have more questions, just keep them coming. Right? You guys don't feel like, hey, I'm doing this by myself. There are things you have to do by yourself, but as you can see here, we're all family. So take advantage of the resources, take advantage of your time, and I guess on Saturday you guys have a workout, so be prepared for that. So keep communicating. You guys are doing a great job on that. So any final words, Bobby, or anybody else?
No, show up, shut up, and keep up.
All right, ladies, we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. Please keep us posted on your graduations and your degrees, and professionally, Ugochi, good luck with that. And we're all fans of you guys.
Don't
All
forget
right.
to send me an invite to the wedding, Delaney. Okay?
Exactly.
Thanks
All right,
for
you
having
guys.
us.
All right, guys, stay in touch, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, I miss you guys.
Everyone stay safe.
Miss you too.
Yes.
Take care, please. Thanks, guys. Love you both. All.
Bye.
Bye.